Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another Magic Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I want to share with you guys a deck of all rares and one uncommon that I have been having a ton of fun with lately. So, let's get into it. This deck is so consistent and ramps up so quickly, I kind of can't believe that it doesn't have any higher rarity cards in it. The deck is absolutely amazing. You see, the thing is that I don't really finish sets off until the next set comes out, because I only am able to get VIP for 1 month for the duration of a set, and so I'll sort of stockpile the packs for that 1 month of VIP, and then I use booster crafting to get me to the point where I can finish the set with my VIP when the next set comes out. So that means that when Lorwyn came out, I was able to finish off Edge of Eternities. And then all of my day one pulls typically for a set are pretty much just what I have for the entire duration of a set until the next set comes out. Meaning that for me, I'm really starting to sink my fangs into a lot of Edge of Eternities cards. And so I got this Pinnacle Emissary. And this card is absolutely insane. I was just looking through all of my Edge of Eternities cards and I was like, you know what? This is what I need to build around. And it's absolutely worth it. For those of you who are very active in the game, I'm sure that you've seen this card. And then for those of you that are a little bit newer, well, you're in for a fun treat. So this card's a 3/3 for 6, and it has when an artifact support card enters the battlefield, you're going to create a drone token. That drone token is a 2/2 artifact creature token, but the important thing is that this doesn't specify that that artifact has to be a non-token artifact. So tokens work, meaning that if we run Pinnacle Emissary with a whole bunch of gold token producers, this thing's going to put out a whole bunch of drones, and they come out real fast and they hit real hard. So as soon as I saw Pinnacle Emissary, I was like, you know what? I need to build a whole deck around gold and this thing. And that's what I did. So I threw in Jolene because Jolene is like the ultimate fun popper gold card. This thing makes it so that whenever a creature you control attacks, basically for all of your things, then you're going to get 2 gold tokens. So you're going to get a whole bunch of gold tokens when your creatures attack, and then when any of your gold tokens are destroyed, you're going to do 2 damage to your opponent's first creature. So the gold is not only going to be giving you mana, but it's also going to be serving as removal as well. We've got 2 rares that are amazing for making gold. One of them is Hell to Pay, that's going to do damage and create gold tokens equal to the number of red gems on the board. And then Hit the Mother Lode, which is going to let you discover 4 twice, meaning look at the top 4 cards of your library, pick 1, put it in your hand with half mana, and then create 4 gold tokens. So what this means is that between Hell to Pay and Hit the Mother Lode, we're going to be getting a whole bunch of gold tokens down. Beyond that, Hit the Mother Lode is going to help us discover to pull the pieces that we need, namely making sure that we get the Pinnacle Emissary, and if we want, Jolene as well. And then the rest of the deck is just sort of built around this whole sort of synergy theme as well. I'm running Tarian Soul Cleaver. This is going to make it so that whenever any of our gold tokens are destroyed, our first creature is going to get a permanent +5/+5 buff, which is going to go very nicely with this. I threw in Fountain Port as well. This is going to make it so that you're creating a gold token at the beginning of each of your turns, but that's largely irrelevant. The reason that we're actually using this is that whenever any of our gold tokens are destroyed, we're going to draw a card and give that card 2 mana. So the gold token's going to get destroyed, we're going to draw a card, give that card 2 mana, we're going to get 3 mana for the gold token being destroyed. If multiple gold tokens are getting destroyed, then we're going to draw multiple cards, we're going to get 3 mana for each of those gold tokens destroyed, and each of the cards we draw is going to get 2 mana. This ultimately is going to make it so that we are going to draw through our decks really well, and then that's going to make it so that we can more reliably get into that Pinnacle Emissary and do big kid damage. I've got Cryptex because this is an artifact that's going to convert gems to red, and as the Planeswalker that I am using has a very high red mana bonus, all the time we're going to be getting red gems. And 5 gems to red is a lot. This is also an artifact, so that's going to count as artifacts coming down to give us drones, and if this thing is destroyed, we're going to draw a card, which just helps. Then I've got the Eternity Elevator. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't running high rarity cards, but this is another artifact that's going to be converting a whole bunch of gems to red for us. Station is not even a mechanic. You can pretend it doesn't exist. It's worthless. The mechanic is awful. Then we've got Banner of Kinship. This card is hilarious with the gold tokens because when this enters the board, all your creatures get a permanent +X buff equal to the total shield of all of the supports that you control. Now in the deck that I'm going to be showing you guys today with Jaya, which is my favorite way to run this, you're going to see that this is still enough to get Banner of Kinship down to give all of our critters enough of a buff to get a win. However, if you're running it with something like one of the Saheelis that's going to boost the shield count of all of your gold tokens, then you can start getting your drones into the thousands, which can also be pretty fun. With that said, I think it's better to just hit for lethal, where you're hitting for hundreds of damage and automatically winning and doing it very consistently, as opposed to every so often being a training grounds hero and hitting for thousands and laughing at that every few matches. So this deck, much more consistent. The last card that I threw into the deck was Molten Collapse because we need ways of destroying our opponent's stuff. Once again, aiming for those lower rarity cards, so I put Molten Collapse in the deck. Molten Collapse is going to destroy in a non-targeted way the opposing card of the greatest mana value, including Vanguard supports, so this is going to get rid of creatures, regular supports, Vanguards, whatever, and typically it's going to be prioritizing the nastiest things that your opponent is going to play. Beyond the Molten Collapse, we also have Jolene for getting rid of things, namely creatures, Hell to Pay, which is also going to get rid of things, creatures, or players, and just have a bunch of fun doing it. So with that, I want to show you guys the Planeswalker, as that's the final piece to this puzzle. I'm running it with Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. You'll see that she has 1 mana bonus that is boosted, and that is red at +9, meaning that we're going to get an insane amount of mana for red matches. Furthermore, all of our conversion is definitely going to be red. And the really sweet thing is Impulsive Deal, her first ability. It's going to make it so you pick one of the first 3 spell cards from your deck, fetch it, give it Outcast, meaning it's going to get exiled at the end of turn. You're going to give that spell 6 mana, and finally you're going to convert 4 gems to red. So this is going to make it so that more gems are red, which means that the Hell to Pay is going to get us even more gold tokens down. It's also going to do more damage. This is going to fetch one of the first 3 spells, so that means that we are going to be able to very reliably either get hit the Motherlode or Hell to Pay every single time, meaning that every time we activate that first ability, we're probably going to be getting something that's going to make us a whole bunch of gold tokens. And because it's only 7 loyalty, we have conversion in the deck, and the ability itself also converts gems to red. It's going to help propagate itself to make sure that we can just keep going and going and going and using Impulsive Deal as much as we want. So this whole deck is super consistent, super powerful, and super fun. So let's go ahead and see it in action. Opponent number 1 is going to be a terrible Planeswalker, Dahlia. They should be running Kaalia instead of Dahlia, but whatever, that's fine. So here you'll see that as starting hands go, this is about as bad as it gets. We've got Banners of Kinship. We do not have any of the things that we need in order to make the deck tick. However, even so, that's honestly not going to be the end of the world. I've got this red Cascade over here, and then I'm going to just try and get loyalty after that so I can start using my first ability and then make things happen. So, you know, I said that, but I've got yet another red match, and I would like to get my converter down. So let's do one more turn of making just regular matches, just so we get a converter down. And then now we can go for loyalty and make things happen with that. I've got the Pinnacle Emissary. This is beautiful. So now Pinnacle Emissary into Hell to Pay is just going to win the game. I want to make sure that I'm not giving my opponent too good of matches. So my opponent's looking for white, blue, and red. Let's see, if I take this loyalty match, I will not be giving them white, blue, or red. There is, however, a white match on the right, so I'm going to just take that away from my opponent so as to ensure that they do not get it. And then just sort of hope that my conversion gives me something good. It does not. Of course it does not. That's fine. At the very least, it stopped my opponent from making big things happen. So now here I could take the red match, and in taking the red match, I would get the Pinnacle Emissary and the Hell to Pay. And I'm actually kind of fine with that because that's going to ensure that the Emissary drone tokens are going to be able to attack next turn. And unless my opponent does something pretty crazy, I should actually very, very, very likely win the game next turn. So this deck is just that fast. So I'm going to take the red match on top because that can cascade. It did not. That's fine. I'm honestly not that afraid of Exile Goyf over there, so I'm not going to target it with Hell to Pay here. I'm just going to do 11 and get my 11 drone tokens and gold tokens out like this, which is just beautiful. Look at this, you get the tokens so fast. So now Hell to Pay is turning into a massive nuke of a damage card, And then we're getting the critters as well. I should also have added at the beginning of the video that Jaya is also going to make these little monk tokens. And these little monk tokens are going to be kind of fun because they are going to come down and then they're going to do some pretty funny stuff for us. Unfortunately, my opponent has a card that's going to be destroying all of our support shields, which is going to get rid of all of our supports. But that probably isn't going to be the biggest deal because I should be able to get another Hell to Pay or Hit the Mother Load from this. So yeah, I'm going to get a Hit the Mother Load. That's not going to be the most shields ever, but it's probably also not going to be the world's biggest deal either. It does mean that them destroying all of the tokens is going to make it so that we probably aren't going to win this turn, just in terms of the shield count for all of what I'm going to have going. But even so, not winning necessarily this turn is not the biggest deal. I might actually still win, right? Because I'm gonna get the 2 Motherlode tokens. I'm gonna get the Molten Collapse. Let's see, which of these is a higher cost? So I'm actually gonna get rid of the Scouring Swarm this turn. What if I save the banners for next turn? I'm gonna save the Banners of Kinship for next turn. Although I could win this turn. Oh, it's always tempting just to win this one turn, right? Because let's see, we're gonna get 3 and 4 is 7. And then we'll get to 11 and then 15. So 11 and 15 is 25. 25 buffing all of my creatures. You know what? That just wins. So let's just go for the win, right? And then let's just get a big cascade turn going over here. I think I'm getting 25. Oh, 27? Am I going to get 27 power to my creatures? Something like that? To each of them? I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm going to take Fountain Port. And I'm going to take another Soul Cleaver. And then we're going to get the 4 gold tokens down. That's going to give us 4 more drones. And then we're going to get the Soul Cleaver down. Oh, no, we got the Soul Cleaver down. So this is now going to give a boost to all the critters. Okay, this isn't massive, but it's still going to win us the game because, I mean, how much are we at? We're at 30, 60, 93, 95... 120, 135, I think. I think that's 135. That's enough to win. But yeah, okay. So I feel like that's good because that was a very suboptimal way for the deck to run. And then even still with that suboptimal, especially like last turn, not getting held to play, we went on turn 9. Okay. That's pretty slow as things go for this deck. Let's do another match. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we can get maybe a more optimal draw out of this. Now, I say it was suboptimal just because we had the 2 little critters in our hand, Banner of Kinship. I call them little critters because they got little mice on them. But we had the 2 Banners of Kinship, and they really weren't doing anything for us in the early game. So here we've got Molten Collapse, we got Fountain Port, and we got a Banner of Kinship. Okay, that's actually not bad. So here, as starting swaps go, I'm going to take the black into green into loyalty, just because loyalty makes it so I can use my first, and that's going to convert gems. So not getting the red in the early game is fine. And then it's also going to limit what Liliana is going to be doing. Although I guess Liliana's mana bonuses make it so that she can use really any of the colors. It's either be red, blue, or black. So I'm going to go for loyalty into red here because I think that's going to make it so I can use my first. Yes, it does. Excellent. And what's Liliana going to be playing? Alcazats. That's going to be a hard pass. No. No, 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 no. You don't get to keep that thing. We've got Hell to Pay and Hit the Mother Load. Between the two, I actually want Hit the Mother Load. I don't have my creatures yet. Otherwise, I'd want Hell to Pay. So we're going to bring Hit the Mother Load up. Let's see, is Hit the Mother Load actually going to cast this turn? If I play it, yes, but then Alcazats will get rid of my hand. So I'm not going to play Hit the Mother Load. I'm going to go for Molten Collapse. So, all right, my opponent getting the Alcazats out is pretty unfortunate. That card is crazy powerful. Although me destroying it's just going to give them that little land token. So that's honestly not the best thing ever for me. Not the worst, also not the best. I probably could have done something else. What that something is, I'm not 100% sure just yet. Okay, this is good. Okay, so this is going to make it so that I can go red into loyalty, get the Cryptex down. That should make it so I could use my first again next turn, which is good. They might get the Alcazats back down in just a minute, but that's not the end of the world. We're going to draw some cards because of Fountain Port, and they are very kindly destroying my stuff. And then, all right, so let's get the Emissary down. Let's see what we get this time with the first. Let's see, Hell to Pay or hit the Mother Load. You know what? I've got Fountain Port down, so let's go with Hell to Pay because that's going to actually draw me more cards. And then Eternity Elevator. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay. If I go for destroying let's just go for the landfall. We're going to draw a card. It's another Molten Collapse. That's fine. I actually wouldn't mind that Molten Collapse coming down here. Probably won't, but all right, we're going to burn my opponent, get some gold tokens down. Here they go. That's going to get me some drones down, and now it would just be nice if my opponent destroys some of these and gets me some of our Banners of Kinship. So something else that's nice about this deck is that the opponent tends to destroy your supports with their swaps. And so now here, if they wind up destroying our supports, it draws us cards. So they're going to be destroying stuff that's honestly kind of okay. We get the Eternity Elevator for that draw. Not what I wanted, but it's manageable. Let's see. They didn't go for the 5 match on top. That was a poor life choice. Okay, so that means that I can take that 5 match on top unless my deck says no. Whatever, we're still going to draw a bunch of cards out of this. This is still good. Let's see, that's going to draw more. Fountain Port's going to be drawing us even more cards. Let's see, can we get a Banner of Kinship out of this? That is the question. The answer is no to that question. No Banner of Kinship for me. Okay, let's see. I don't actually need Jolene, I think, because I've got 3 creatures. I do have 3 creatures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my first. I'm going to fetch a card. I'm going to hit the Mother Load. I'm going to take the bottom one. Let's see, I've got a 5 match. Oh my gosh, this is just so good. Okay, we're going to take the 5 because that's going to let me hit the Mother Load and discover my 2 cards and maybe get a Banner of Kinship. Or 2. 2 would be good. My opponent's doomed, right? Like they lose here. Let's see, we're going to discover once. I'll take another Fountain Port. And do you want to give me a banner this time? We do. Good. There's the banner. All right, so now I'm going to get a banner down. That's huge. My opponent's so dead. So very dead. Okay, and I've got 3 little blue gems that I can match at the bottom. Those are all going to draw me more cards. Let's put the banner up. You know what? Let's risk it for the biscuit. Let's destroy the Soul Cleaver. Let's destroy the Fountain Port. And let's see if what we draw is going to be another Banner of Kinship. My opponent's very, very dead. So let's do this. Nope, it's Jolene. All right. That's fine. Oh, we got another hit the Mother Load, but still, that wasn't a Banner of Kinship and it's not enough mana. Nonetheless, this is still going to be enough power to easily kill Liliana. Easy clap. All right, yeah, look at that. You just get power so fast. Oh my goodness. And as to Kukami is cooked. So I feel like that's another good example of the deck, right? Like my opponent got down an early Alkazats, and Alkazats, as I'm sure many of you guys know, that thing comes down and it's just game over if it gets set up. And not only were we able to get rid of the Alkazats, but we were able to just sort of keep on ramping up. Liliana never made it to her ultimate ability to get those darn Veil tokens down and got destroyed. So, okay, this is beautiful. This is super beautiful. Cryptex into Hell to Pay into Soul Cleaver. That's nice. And then we can start, we get to start with a double red match. Absolutely, yes, please. I want to save Hell to Pay if I can. I want to save Hell to Pay to be a drone creator if I can. It doesn't mean that I'll be able to, but just that would be really sweet if it works out that way. Let's see. I can go for red. I can go for green into red here. And that's going to get rid of some gems for my opponent. So let's do green into red. That's going to give me enough for hit the Mother Load as well. And then, let's see, that's going to give me a Fountain Port, sure. And then, I'll take a Molten Collapse just in case. Because Tamio got a fair amount of mana turn 1. And I don't know what she's got. I didn't wind up getting my critters, which is unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely unfortunate. Let's see, let's put Fountain Port up. And then let's see, what else have I got here? Let's go. I know I'm going to be destroying a gold token, but that's okay. It's going to help me get all my supports down. So let's get Fountain Port down. Now as the gold get destroyed, it's going to draw us cards. I've got the first ability active, so that's going to happen. Yeah, okay, Galta, that checks out. I was wondering if it was either Gulta or Tempt with Discovery based on how much mana they needed. So that means that this one right up here is going to come on up. Let's use the first ability. I would very much like Hit the Motherlode here. Yep, perfect. I want to hit the Motherlode because I don't have my creatures yet, and I would very much like to get the creatures. And then I'm going to try and make the Hit the Motherlode happen. So let's see. Can we make Hit the Motherlode happen? No, we cannot. That's unfortunate. Actually, it's technically possible. Let's go for the it's technically possible version of this. So I'm going to take the Loyalty into green and see if it cascades into red. And then if that happens, then I get to hit the Motherlode. If not, then I don't, and it's not the end of the world. But it would be nice to be able to get that. I don't. All right, that's fine. Galta's going to go, though. So that gets rid of my opponent's mana. And since they used so much mana to cast that thing, I'm honestly not too worried about that. Let's see, that's going to draw us cards. That's going to get us Jolene this time. That'll be cool. I feel like it'll be fun to see Jolene. Oh, Banner of Kinship. Nice. Okay. Okay. That's the good stuff. We're going to get some gold tokens. We're going to draw some more cards. There's the Emissary. Perfect. And here you're seeing, like, even when we're, like, bricking, it's not a big deal because ultimately we're going to get what we need in order to make the deck tick. So I'm going to save this Banner of Kinship. Am I really? Michael, do you really want to save that? No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to take the... Oh my gosh, there's a 5-match. Is there a way that I can do this without taking my 5-match of red? Because that's just so many red gems. That's going to make so many. You know what? No. Let's take the 5-match. Let's see what we can do here. So we're going to get Jolene. We're going to get the Pinnacle Emissary down. We discover twice. I'm going to go for a Soul Cleaver and another Banner of Kinship. Disgusting. Okay. The Monk is coming down. I could win off of the Monk here, but I don't actually want to win off of the Monk token. I want to win the fun way, right? I feel like that's important. Like every so often when you're playing a game like this, you just need to win the fun way. We're going to Hell to Pay Tamio in the face. That's going to make 15 gold tokens. That's going to make 15 drones for 30 power in tokens. And then that's going to make the Banner of Kinship come down and give an additional plus 15 power to all of my creatures. And toughness, but... Ooh, you know what? Please don't steal my whole board this turn. That would be pretty sweet if you did not do that. Tamio could definitely do that this coming turn. That's possible. Let's see, I think... Can I use the first? Oh my gosh, I can use my first and get another Hell to Pay. That's just so beautiful. All right, we're getting another Soul Cleaver. And that's it. Okay, let's get some more tokens down. I want as many red gems on the board as possible. So I think I'm going to go for the green. Yeah, I'm going to go for these green ones. Just because that's... Oh, another Hell to Pay. Okay. It's not going to cast before I get this stuff all off. But all right, this is going to load up the entire board now with gold tokens. So now every gem on the board that is available to be a gold token is going to be a gold token, meaning that Tamio can't miss them when Tamio makes her swaps next turn, unless she goes for loyalty. And then that's just going to draw me a whole bunch of cards. The drones are getting real big here. And then the Banner of Kinship is now going to make these guys all real big here too. Oh man. All right. So more drones, and then we're going to get the Soul Cleaver down. We're going to get more drones because we got the Soul Cleaver down. Let's see what my opponent does. Oh, that's going to give us a lot of cards. A lot of mana, and it's going to bump Jolene up a bunch because a bunch of the simple supports are going to get destroyed. So the Soul Cleaver is going to just absolutely beef this up a bunch. Let's see. That's probably the last match for them. Right? That's probably the last match based on this. Yeah. What did they get? Sky Captain. That is absolutely the one card they needed to win this game. Definitely. Definitely the one card they needed to win this game. At this point, honestly, I'm thinking, how about I just end the game? You know? Let's just end the game. Let's not try and... Who are you kidding, Michael? You're in it for the content. Get out of here. Shoo. Shoo. It's going to get me drones. What should we get rid of here? The Hell to Pay. There's no way that I'm going to be able to propagate enough tokens. I'll keep the Soul Cleaver. Can I get another Fountain Port? Or no, can I get... what's it? That is actually Fountain Port. Banner of Kinship. Can I get another Banner of Kinship? Jolene's just going to get rid of my opponent's critters. We're going to draw. We got 2 5 matches. Pinnacle. Do we get another Banner of Kinship? No. Okay. No Banner of Kinship. Can I just cancel the burn then, just so that we don't sit through all of that? Although, I could. I could just use the burn, get rid of my hand, and see if we draw another Banner of Kinship. Let's try that. Because this is going to burn for 13. It's going to give us 13 more little tokens for both gold and the drones. And then off of the next swap, it's going to destroy the tokens first. So I'll draw the 3 cards first, and then it'll give all the mana. So that might make it so that we can get another Banner of Kinship. Let's see if we can get another Banner of Kinship. We don't need one. Obviously, Tamio is very dead, but I just feel like it'll be fun to sort of like max out the likelihood of big bad things happening. So the most likely way of making big bad things happening is the red one on top. Let's see if we can get a Banner of Kinship straight away here. Molten Collapse is not what we were looking for that. Pinnacle Emissary is not what we were looking for there. And Banner of Kinship is what we were looking for there, but is it going to be enough mana? Just barely not. Oh, man. All right, well, we still win. The drones are going to get to 200 power, Jolene's going to be at 200 power, and Parawolf is going to be dead. So, yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a good enough showcase of what this deck does, right? We've gotten to see 3 matches, all of them, the deck just steamrolls. It really doesn't need that much to get going. It's got a lot of cards that all work together. So if you're looking for a fun deck to try out in between Lorwyn and Shadowmoor coming out, and you want to play with just a bunch of cards, non-mythic, non-masterpiece, just have some fun with a fast, consistent, very red in its identity deck where you're doing a ton of damage, give this deck a try. It's a ton of fun. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.